Hello students, today's class is for class 9. Today we are going to discuss about atomic structure and chemical bonding. In your previous classes I have explained about atoms, discovery of electrons and their characteristics of cathode rays. In today's class we are going to discuss about some positive rays, that is called the characteristics of proton and generation or discovery of protons. Okay, so let's start the class. Discovery of protons. Scientist J.J. Thomson performed the experiment that is called the discharge tube experiment, and E. Goldstein, who discovered the protons, E. Goldstein. This scientist discovered the protons and he modified the discharge tube experiment by using perforated cathode. He performed the same experiment of that of discharge tube experiment, but he used the perforated cathode. So how does it looks like? Suppose this is discharge tube. Okay, this is discharge tube. Here exists anode. Okay, this is anode, and here a perforated cathode is taken. Perforated cathode means there exists some holes in the cathode. Okay, so this is perforated cathode. So both cathode and anode are connected to some electrical charge distribution, that is some induction coil, same here. And according to Thomson, some negative rays should generate from cathode to anode, that are termed as cathode rays. So from this perforated cathode, rays are generating to that of anode. This is anode, these are called cathode rays. Now it is seen that another type of rays that is going opposite to that of cathode rays, that is in this side. Cathode rays are going in this side and some opposite rays are going towards this direction. Okay, this was observed when Goldstein used this perforated cathode, that is rays that are going opposite direction to that of cathode rays. These rays are termed as anode rays. You can see that as they were going in the opposite direction to that of cathode rays. So you can think that they are generating from anode and going towards the cathode. So as they are generating from anode and going towards the cathode, perforated cathode, so we can term it as anode rays. So the anode rays are positively charged. So by the use of perforated cathode, Goldstein came to the point of proton, that is positively charged. So the next point is, and another point is, these anode rays are termed as canal rays. There is a term, canal rays. Why canal? Because they are going through these holes. There exist holes in perforated cathode and these rays are going through these holes, that is the canal, termed as canal, and hence these rays are termed as canal rays. Sometimes these are positively charged rays, they are anode rays, and as they are going through the holes, they are termed as canal rays. Okay, so by the generation of these anode rays, Goldstein came to the point of protons, and next we will discuss about some characteristics of these anode rays. Properties of anode rays. So the first point is similar to that of cathode rays, that they are passing in a straight line. Okay, so anode rays travel in a straight line, travel in a straight line, and in the opposite direction to that of cathode rays. In opposite direction to that of cathode rays. What will be the second point? The second point must be that the anode rays are positively charged opposite to that of cathode rays. So anode rays are positively charged. When we applied electrical field, cathode rays deflected towards the positive electrode. That is, cathode rays are negative and they deflected towards the positive electrode. That means whenever we apply that electrical field for the anode rays will deflect towards the negative electrode. Anode rays are positively charged, so they will deflect towards the negative electrical field. So in the third point, it is the proof that the anode rays are the positively charged. So in that discharge tube again, perforated cathode, this is anode. We are applying electrical field. This is positive electrical field, this is negative electrical field. The rays that are going towards this, that is the cathode rays, will deflect like this. Okay, this is the deflection of cathode rays, and the anode, these are the cathode rays that are coming from this cathode, that's a deflection like this. Okay, these are the cathode rays generating from cathode, they will be deflected towards the positive electrode. Now the anode rays that are generating towards this side, they will be deflected towards this negative electrode. Okay, so that is the deflection. Cathode ray towards positive electrode and anode rays towards negative electrode. So this is the proof that anode rays are positively charged. So here comes the third point, that in an electric field, anode rays deflects towards what? Negative electrode, towards negative electrical field. That proves that the anode rays are positively charged. Now the fifth point is, similar to that of cathode rays, anode rays can also generate or show fluorescence properties. Cathode rays generally show greenish yellow fluorescence in a soda glass, and when we are placing zinc sulfide screen in that discharge tube, fourth point, when we are placing a zinc sulfide screen within the tube, anode rays are showing fluorescence. Or showing or generating fluorescence. So this is the fourth characteristics of anode rays. Now the next point is E by M ratio. We have discussed that the E by M ratio for any electron is same, whatever the gas is. Irrespective of the gas, the E by M ratio is same for every electron. But in case of anode rays, that is for positively charged rays, the E by M ratio is not fixed. E by M ratio vary from gas to gas for anode rays. Okay, E by M ratio is fixed for electron but not for positively charged rays, that is not for anode rays. So this E by M value is highest. E by M value is highest when we are taking hydrogen gas. For hydrogen gas it is highest. E by M value is maximum for hydrogen gas. Okay, and this E by M value is much lower than that of electron E by M value. So E by M value for anode rays are lower than that of cathode rays, that means electrons. So the main point is E by M ratio is not fixed for anode rays. It is varying from gas to gas. So what will be the definition of a proton? By discussing these properties of anode rays, we can come to the definition of a proton. What will be the definition? So definition of a proton. So proton is a subatomic particle. We all know proton is a subatomic particle and its mass is 1 AMU, that is 1 atomic mass unit, that is equal to 1 hydrogen. Okay, so proton may be defined as a subatomic particle, having mass 1 AMU, that is 1 atomic mass unit, that is equal to hydrogen atom, and has a unit positive charge So the protons are represented as +1 P1. This +1 is for proton charge and this one is the mass of a proton. Similarly, the electrons are represented as -1 E0. This -1 is the charge of electron and this 0 is the mass of electron. Okay, so this is the definition of a proton. Now how protons can be generated? Generally, proton is a subatomic particle and that is positively charged, and we can generate any positively charged particle by the elimination of an electron. When we are eliminating an electron from any particle, they are generating the positively charged particle. Okay, suppose I am taking sodium, Na sodium, and eliminating one electron. We are eliminating one electron and it is generating Na+, that is positively charged particle. Similarly, from one hydrogen atom, when we are eliminating one electron, it is producing H+, and this H+ is termed as proton. This is a proton. Okay, so positively charged particles can be generated by the removal of electrons, and when one electron is removed from hydrogen atom, they are generating proton. So in today's class we have discussed about the discovery of protons by using perforated cathode, the experiment by E. Goldstein. In our next class we will discuss about properties of protons and the discovery of nucleus. Okay.